Welcome to Own the Future, a podcast made for and by changemakers, where we gain the courage to own our story, the freedom to own our craft, and the power to own the future. I am your host, Lucas Scrobot, and today with us is Abdo Alkhaja, who is an Emirati comedian, recently starred in the first Emirati horror film, The Shadow. And we are talking about a lot of nuanced cultural barriers to entry, family dynamics, and there are some amazing moments that I'm not going to spoil in this intro, in this episode, that I think is going to not only empower you to step into your dreams and your craft, your work, but it's also going to open your eyes to that narrative, the story that has been being wove in your life already, that maybe you've caught glimpses of, but you've been too afraid to actually pick up those threads and follow. So without any further ado, here is part 1 of 2 with Abdo. How did you get into video? How did you, what was your beginning?
Funny story, because at the beginning, the very beginning, I didn't realize I wanted to do this professionally. I was doing it for fun. We were kids at my grandfather's house. I'd have this Sony Ericsson phone, and we'd go to a room, an empty room upstairs. We'd play. We were kids. And then I'd create those little videos of us fighting and everything. Did
you
action.
do stop motion stuff?
Yeah, I actually because
that.
I didn't have anything to edit with. I just had the phone, the camera to pause and record.
Yeah. I did that as a kid too.
Right?
Yeah,
it was so much fun with it.
Yeah.
And then I'd after I finished everything, I'd go down. I'd rush down to my parents, to everyone, and it was a gathering. Every Thursday we'd gather at my grandfather's house.
Right.
And I'd show them hey, look at what I did, and everyone would be like, "Wow, that's impressive. That's cool," And it was fun then. I enjoyed doing it every time I get the chance, And then later, let's move on to years ahead. And then I didn't think about it anymore. We moved on until 2011. I had Instagram back then, before everything, and I just did a video. I just did a little video of me talking, said some couple funny things, and I got responses from people they were laughing and they were engaging and they were like, "Hey, this is awesome and you guys should do more." And then I'm like, "Wait, what's happening? I have a feeling right here. I felt this before. I don't know what it is." Right? And then it all came back.
You actually remember that's the feeling that you had when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm like,
how old were you when you first, when you were a kid, started doing it? 9, 7?
I don't know. I only got my phone when I was in grade 7. So it was very hard to convince parents to get your phone.
Yeah, it's
grade 8.
Yeah. It's 14 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, you can say that. Around that time, yes.
Yeah.
14, 15. And I generally enjoyed movies and filmmaking process.
And the film that you just most recently in was released yesterday, the premiere of The Shadow,
yes,
right?
The Shadow.
Mabruk.
Thank you. Allah Barak Fik.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Wow, congratulations.
It was a supporting role that I got. At the beginning, I'm to be honest, when you always want to be the center of attention in the movie. You always want to be the hero, right? But that's when I realized
everyone wants to be the center of attention in everything.
But then I even told Zainab about it. I'm like, man, I wish I got a bigger role. You know? She's like, doesn't matter. I mean, you got there.
It's pretty big.
Did you realize you got there?
Got a role.
You got a role. You got you went to casting, and then they picked. And according to Untitled Chapter, the director, she loved us. She's like, when we saw you in the audition, we're like, that's it. Let's just stop it right there. We want this guy.
Wow. What was the role that I haven't, obviously, the premiere was last night. I haven't seen the movie.
Well, yeah. It's a role of the cousins, basically. So we're support 2 cousins. And the thing is, this is a short film that the idea behind this film was to basically showcase her work, show the world, show people out there that, she's capable. And she is capable indeed. And we have talented people here, in terms of actors, directors, and we have the power, the tools to create films compared to outside. at the other countries like Hollywood and all this, like all these. We can do it. We just need to like promote them. So this is the whole idea behind her film. And well, yesterday after seeing that short film, even though despite it being like it was 50 minutes, but got everyone hooked.
Really?
Yeah, and they were like, "Wow, we
15 or 50? Did you say
15? 15. It was very short.
Wow,
Yeah,
short.
but in that 15, it just I remember Zainab was sitting on my right, and then she just kept looking at me, and I'm like, "What's happening? What's gonna happen now? What's gonna happen now?" You know, like, and everyone is like, I'm noticing the movement of the crowd. Like, I'm not watching the movie because I read the script, right?
You know
so
what's
just
happening.
Focused on everyone else. It was great, and like,
cool. What an experience.
This was my very first experience in terms of like a full-on, like a camera crew, and then like a movie production.
Had you performed in any like theater before? No,
I haven't.
So this is like your first acting gig.
Yeah, I mean, I've done commercials before.
Okay,
but it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
Like when you're like this is hitting the big screens. It's different.
Yeah.
So you're going to walk the red carpet.
So how did it feel at the premiere? You're sitting there and everyone's looking around. Everyone's excited. It's quite a moment.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how like it didn't feel like a short film. It felt like, hey, I'm the next Iron Man. I'm walking this. I'm owning this red carpet. You know?
Wow.
It's great. It's great. Like I love getting into. I'm gonna get into more hopefully, like acting gigs and whatever I can get my hands on, and just do it. It's my thing. It's like I have fun doing it. I actually enjoy doing it.
Do you kind of feel that, when I'm doing a podcast or, doing music, or I feel that wind kind of like, I don't have a better word than kind of like that anointing where it's like, oh, this is what I was made for. Like when I'm doing this, I'm like,
it feels right.
You get in the flow, in the zone.
It feels right. I mean, especially when, like now, if we were going to talk about my videos, for example.
Yeah.
Like,
which are very funny.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I try to be.
Sometimes when people do LOL, but you're like, well, did you really laugh out loud?
Did you really? Yeah.
I took yesterday and I went through almost all your videos. I did all of your IGTV.
Thank you.
And then last night again, going through more of your videos, and multiple times I burst out laughing.
Thank you.
The one within the old patrol.
That was an actual. That was
hilarious.
That was real. I wasn't edited. That car actually had that sound.
Because so many of those stories that you do, they're so true.
I try to keep it relatable.
So the Zilan one, the slamming the door one, hilarious. The shaking hands.
What's interesting, when you do relatable videos, you just create this thing in someone's head. Whenever they see something similar happen in real life, they just immediately remember you.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Like, oh wait, I've seen this before. He did a video about it, and then they go to show their friends, like, oh look, this just happened. Yeah, you just did this. That's like you want to make something that people can relate to.
Yeah. What's your process in finding those things that you feel like people can relate to? Is it just something that you find humorous in culture already, and then you're just doing a skit? Like, I think maybe one of the first ones I saw. It's hard because when you find someone, you go and you look through a bunch of their old videos.
Yeah.
Videos. I think one of the first ones I saw, it was probably maybe a year and a half ago when I first found you.
Wow.
I think it was the one where you're driving and some like guy cuts you off and he's like,
interesting thing about
he's like, oh, I have 3 numbers on the back, and like, oh, my dad is like, oh, you speak English? Yes. 1.8
people, by the
GPA.
Way, people get triggered. People get triggered.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, like when I was doing that, like, I mean, I don't care. Like, as long as there's a rule here. I'll tell you one thing. If what you're doing isn't illegal, then you can do anything you want. As long as it's not illegal. Like, what did I do?
But where's the line?
Okay, look. It becomes easier, of course, if like I'm a local.
Yeah.
If I make fun of a local. Hey, I am you. Like, why are you offended? Like, this, I know this is our thing. Like, but if it's different when someone else comes and makes fun of you, yeah, okay, it could
People
be like
have been thrown in jail for that.
True. So, like, for example, like comedians like Russell Peters, for example, like he makes fun of Indians, right? Because he's an Indian. But if I come up and make fun of Indians, people maybe they won't take it as as good as they take it from him. So when you're when you guys,
it's in your own culture,
it's in my own culture, like, and I know you guys, like, and I take that aspect and I make fun of it, and people get triggered because like.
What are some of how do people like? What are some of the people
like
think?
I promoted the post, right? And it was.
I love that story. It was so funny.
I promoted the post and I got like a couple comments of people like, you're making fun of us, like this is not true, and like this is you social media people should get arrested for these things. Like I'm like, calm down. Like this is so sad. Like they can't just chill, and just laugh and just sit back and relax. And we're not saints. I mean, these things happen and we talk about it. I made a video about it. All right, let's move on. They take it so personal, as if like, hey, if it's not you, if you know you don't do that, why are you so triggered, right?
But that one is so I mean, so I was thinking this last night. We were watching that one a couple times, just laughing so hard by myself, like late at night, having a bowl of cereal, watching this clip over and over, laughing. And it reminded me of a story where, we've been in the region for, 6 years now, but when we just moved to Dubai, I had this little rental car. So they're probably thinking like, I have this tiny little rental car, super cheap.
You guys get bullied on the road.
Instantly,
I feel so bad for you. Like,
I'm already in that category of like,
yeah, small cars. Let's not care.
Yeah, small car. Who are you? You're nothing.
Yeah,
so
judgmental.
I forget exactly which road I'm going on, but I have to move over to not get the exit before the overpass. So I move over. Some shabab comes up behind me, and he's like beeping his horn, flashing his lights.
Wow.
I have cars in front of me.
Such such muscles.
Such muscle. Well, it gets better, actually.
Such manlyhood.
So I'm like, I go, this is a mistake. I went like this, like
yeah, you're like confused, like what's happening?
What is going on?
And then they take it as, oh no, this guy's asking for it.
But he thinks,
this guy is like, let me just get ready right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he is then tailgating me, flashing his lights, beeping his horn. I tap my brakes, not to try to like get him to hit me.
Yeah, just
not out of aggression, but it's because
I'm trying to figure out what's happening.
I'm in traffic. There's a car in front of me. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Like, even if I move, where are you gonna reach? Like, so you're not gonna.
Exactly. So then he starts waving something in his, like, pulling me over. He's like, pull over, pull over. He's like waving something out the window like a badge. I'm like, oh my gosh, here it goes. So this is what I'm thinking. Either I can keep on driving, which then I'm going to only entice road rage more, and who knows what this guy is going to do.
Yeah, you never and you were new to the country, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not new to the culture. So I lived in Kuwait, where driving is way more crazy, like 100 times crazier than here.
Stories.
So I'm used to crazy driving.
All right.
But I also know with road rage in the States, like, people do crazy things. I saw someone in Philadelphia walking down the street of Philadelphia near Penn State. A bus kind of pulls up to a stop. A car cuts the bus off. A guy gets out of his car, pops his trunk, pulls out a 4-foot axe and goes and threatens.
Top 10 reasons not to go to the U.S. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I know people do crazy things. So back to it's a long story.
Yeah.
So he's pulling me over. I'm like, oh my gosh, either I'm going to keep driving, he's going to run me off the road, and I'm going to get in an accident. It's going to be a pain. And then, well, who's right? Well, I'm an expert. So I pull over. This young shabab embraces, comes up to the window, and the second that he sees that I'm a Westerner,
all right,
he gets nervous. And I'm like, what's the problem?
That's interesting.
He's like, I'm like, who are you? He's like, I work in the police. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, why are you pulling me over? Where's your ID? He's like, well, why'd you go like this? Why'd you tap your brakes? I'm like, why are you tailgating me? I have cars in front of me. What do you mean? I didn't tap my brakes. He's like, so in that situation, I should have taken a photo of his ID and called the police and got him in trouble, because
you're like, if you're legit,
you're not even a cop. You pulled me over and you're not a cop.
Let's call the actual cops and see
what
they
think. Let's call the cops and let's see what they think.
Yeah.
But so to your point, the point of your video, I'm like, I have experienced that.
Yeah. They look. The thing is, in that one video, I hit a few nerves. One is like the guy at the beginning talking on the phone with his girlfriend. He's like, which iPhone do you want? Right? Like, immediately, like, I knew, like, I felt people getting triggered by that. And then the guy, and then when he says like, my dad is police, I will. That's what we do. Sadly, you know, we're like, my dad is this, my dad is that, my friend is this, but who are you, right?
Oh yeah.
You're no one. You're just being
It's power play.
It's like someone bigger behind you, and you're just acting tough. Like, yeah.
Do people like among your friends, among people who are replying? Because a lot of your videos, even though you did one on 40-year-old Western Americans. I'm like, oh my gosh, I do that, making those big fish. I
am so sorry.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I do that. I was like, I don't care what you're saying. Wow. Like that was a good one.
Those expressions, like I can detect them. I don't know I don't know. Does anybody else see it, by the way? Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What's happening there? What's
I don't know. I don't even know. I'm like, that's so
you guys
cultural.
Get so much into the conversation.
I have no defense, but it's true. Like
I like to leave no one behind. Like when I did some skits on locals, I'm like, let me give locals a break. Let's go and move to someone else.
Do you get a lot of
Iranians?
How much like kickback do you get? Do you get friends messaging you? Do you have like what are some of the things that they're saying, and how do you respond?
You mean the negatives?
Yeah, the negatives and the positives. Let's hear both.
No, I don't like that. Doesn't come from any of the people I know, like my friends or my followers. They all love my work because they know this is pure comedy, and it's just we're here to have a good time. Like I have a rule, like in my page, never get political, religious. We're just here to laugh. We're just here to have just when you go on your phone. It's the idea is to like disconnect from the world, and you just want to see some good content, get inspired. You want to have a good time.
You're just killing time, right? It's like, oh, I'm bored.
Yeah, and you're just killing time.
Entertainment.
You might as well just get something good out of it. I mean, whatever your turn, it's politics. It's like religion. It's like
oh my
like
goodness,
oppressions and everything. Like So I don't negatives. The thing is, I'm glad that I haven't gotten a lot of bad comments. They do pop every now and then, but they don't know that just one button and it's deleted and you're just gone forever.
Is that what
no matter what you say, no matter like this video, I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna delete. You don't exist anymore.
You don't leave them on to like fuel the drama fire on your page.
Sometimes my friends look at the comments and then they. Just as I'm about to delete it, they respond, and it's just they want to like
they want to fight.
They want to get him angry because we're just fine. Like on the other side of the comment section, me and my friends were just laughing. We were just trolling him, and he's taking it. He or she, they're taking it seriously. So yeah, but
and just instigating. So you should take a photo of it and post it on your stories.
Like I've tried. I'm like, should I just like point him out?
And just like stir up the pot.
Like, but like I'm such a peaceful guy. Like I'm not in the mood for drama whatsoever. Like when I see some of those comments, I kept a couple just to show them that they're just completely ignored. They're just there. But now I started deleting because there's no room for negativity when it comes to my page. I mean, you're either here, you have a good time. Yeah, no, you can move on. I'm not forcing you to stay, right? It's like, I mean, people who don't have anything better to say, when you waste your time and then you put that effort and the mental energy into that hate,
negative
comment, right? What do you get out of it? Like I could delete it. I could just ignore you. Like, you're not hurting me. Like why?
They have to unleash their.
I guess they have their own
lash out somewhere.
They probably have their own problems. They just want to like.
And they're triggered, obviously, just like you said. You created a piece to trigger them in their culture.
Maybe I am to blame for this. It's a little bit.
But you're trying to make. So this is the interesting thing about your content is that yes, you're saying that. Well, I don't want to get political, and I don't want to get religious, but then. It's like the other side of the coin.
I hint them like they're there, right?
Culture is especially here, and I think probably too. I think if you look in Europe or you look in the West, you look at culture and you say, well, that's not political and that's not religious. When really, religion and politics in the West has mutated to permeate culture. And now it's their religion is humanism. Their religion is all wrapped up in their culture. So when you trigger people in the West, it's still hitting on like whether it's political or religious. And just like here, religion and politics go hand in hand and permeates everything throughout society. So
Yeah.
even though you're not overtly doing it, it seems like, in a good way, you have an agenda to trigger
Okay.
people to think more deeply about their behaviors, their attitude, their culture, how they treat people. What's behind that?
I'll tell you. Okay, the things that you see are the things that I don't like about my culture, which I make fun of. So you know what I mean? That side of my culture, you know, the side, the cringe side of my culture. And like, come on, we're human beings. Every culture has a good and bad,
Every
right?
culture.
And I just target the bad, like, and I put them out there for the world to see. And that's what they don't like, because they know it's true.
It is true.
I
And
mean,
every
it's there.
culture. I
It's
mean,
there.
that's
you gotta. Hey, we're not angels. We're not saints. We have our good and bad people out there. So, and what's good about those bad people is that I can just like, you know, make a skit or two of them.
Do you find sometimes you're doing even a self-deprecating way where you are like, oh my goodness, I do this and I don't like this about myself, but I see myself manifesting the same way. I see myself doing these same things in traffic, going over curbs and driving a little crazy. And
I am just as guilty. Okay, I am just as guilty. I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm perfect. No, I'm just as guilty. Yeah, you have to do one thing though. Like, I make sure I make fun of myself a lot more than I make fun of others.
For sure.
You know why? Because then if someone comes and says something, I'm like, I don't leave anyone behind. Hey, I'm the first guy that I targeted.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know my flaws, and the good thing about knowing your flaws is that, you know, you can just.
Do you have a deeper agenda? Like, because some of your older stuff, especially whether it's right when you were, I don't know if you're still in the military, you just got out of the military.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But there's some content that you have, even especially earlier on, with a much softer side to it that wasn't so comedy driven, that in your newer stuff it seems you've moved away from a little bit. But I'm skeptical in that I think maybe it's just grown into something else. And so my question is, are you purposely triggering people to try to get them to laugh about themselves to then think about their culture? Or are you just like, well, we're just going to have a fun time? Or are you actually trying to say, hey, let's be thoughtful about who we are?
No, like, yeah, there are hidden messages like in those like videos, but when I don't really aim at someone and target. You know, I just
not
like
an individual, but just more like cultural norms.
Yeah, and then my idea is basically I just whatever that comes to me, I do the idea, but not intentionally, not to like target someone and just like exploit them, but just because, you know, these things. When I talk about something in a video, a skit, I like it's something that I see which was funny to me, and I just like put it out there in my own way, but not that I am intending to attack someone. You know, it's just there.
Well, not attack, but are you hoping
like,
that...
Or triggering anyone, like particularly, like... But, I mean...
Are you hoping for like a specific outcome? Are you doing this with, okay, I want to make people laugh, but at the same time, I have like a secondary or tertiary outcome where I'm hoping people become more self-aware and reflective about how they're behaving in the world? Or is it just like, let's just make people laugh?
It's just pure fun. Just make people laugh.
Yeah.
And hopefully just... I mean, what I try to do is to, not at the beginning, but now I realize like I'm inspiring people, I'm motivating them to get out and just get into more to doing these videos and be themselves more. And then, because, I mean, not long ago, we didn't have this going on. People like Arab comedians, to be honest, like
really?
People do videos.
Because it seems to be one of the main forms of platforms that Arab vloggers kind of take on is kind of like the skits, which I love.
When I started, but when I started myself, there were only few like that. You know, you can just say that they're comedians. Otherwise, they were just like they were not out there yet. People, because I mean, I was one of them. When I started doing the videos, at some point I stopped.
Why'd you stop?
It's because of what others think of me and the others' judgment. And
were people actually saying stuff, or was it just your own perception?
No, I overthink. You don't want to be in here. Like I was, but yeah, in generally, our culture is really like to be completely honest, they want to showcase themselves, kind of like they want to like show people that they have the like on the outside, of course, like they have the best of everything, and they have like the best position at work, and they're successful and all these like good image. And maybe when they see someone like a guy that's trying to be a comedian or acts in a certain way, does facial expressions, oh, this guy's a clown, oh my god, he's like ruining our image, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just like reputation wise, people really care about their reputation here so much.
Yeah.
That it becomes very, it's a prison now for them. They're not themselves, you know. It's all about titles.
Is that kind of why you stopped for a while?
Yeah, because like my father, he was like the CEO of the Dubai Metro. Like
Really?
He was the top guy, but leading the project. Yeah, and then like he had a big name, and my uncles had a big name. One of them was in DIWA, one of them was like a surgeon. And then that started getting into me, like, yeah, if I'm doing this, am I like ruining everything they were building, you know, reputation wise? Like, are they gonna be like, oh, you know, his son,
he does those goofball.
He does those videos. He thinks it's funny, you know, and like all he's doing is
fun of our culture,
is embarrassing his family,
bringing shame.
And then I stopped. I'm like, no.
Were they saying that, or were you wondering that?
That's the thing. I was just like thoughts building in my head because I mean, I was around. I mean, I know how my own people think, like our culture.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that someone like, it's not like they actually told me, anyone ever told me. I just, you know, me just thinking to myself, you know, when you just before you go to sleep, you just think a lot. Yeah, those are the moments. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to stop. It was going well. None of that was bad. But I started like overthinking it. And then it just, that's when I realized it's not who I am. Like, as much as I tried to like fight it and be like the normal citizen that I'm supposed to be, aim for like studying, you know, like good grades and get the best work position, and where be, you know, like, just
though you've been
be like the perfect local, like no flaws. And no, it wasn't me. I actually got very sad at some point. Like, I felt like there's something.
Yeah, what caused you to have that coming to you to say, actually, I don't want to play that facade. I actually want to. What happened? What was that story?
It was just basically not being happy. Just feel like there's something missing. There's a void. Something changed, you know, because I told you, like, the reason why I started is because I triggered old feelings, you know?
Yeah.
Because I can't explain, like, every time I release a video and I get a positive feedback, like, I cannot begin to explain that it's not even happiness, not even joy. It's like I'm getting high on this thing. It's like, I want to do more.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and then I was missing that feeling. Life felt a little emptier. I like lost sense of purpose, you know. And then I went back to it. I went back to it though differently. I started doing this thing where I commentate on certain videos, and like it was a very
kind of reaction
videos, and say certain things, and it was nice. It was going well. And then I'm like, hey, I got a good idea for a skit. But no, I'm past that. But it's not that bad. Let me try it. Let me do it. And I did it. It was the one where, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but the black car problems. It's a very old one.
The black car problems.
Yeah, it's when you, like, as soon as you clean them and wash them, you should look away, you look back, and it's just dusty again.
No, I haven't seen that one. So bummed right now. I didn't go for enough.
I did that, and that was my first video after I stopped for quite some time.
Yeah.
Then it blew up. It got reposted in other accounts, and I'm like, what's happening? Well, and everyone's like, yeah, you're back. It's good. Amazing. And I'm like, yeah, wait a second. It's coming back. It's coming back right there. Feeling is coming back, you know?
Wow.
And then I remember how after that I kept doing the other ones, the one where I
reaction videos.
And then my dad, I don't know what got us into this conversation. And I was working on this friend's project, uni project. He wanted to do a short film for graduation project, and I was included. And then we talked a little, and then he's like, "You're into these acting things and filming?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love them. It's like a hobby." And he's like, "Okay, just do whatever you want to do, make sure you have a stable income. Like,
This is what your dad said.
because like I was studying, I'm a mechanical engineer, right? And I'm just like, it's a completely different world from what I'm.
Totally.
Yeah, and that's also another story. But and then he's like, just get a stable job, get into engineering, and just do this on the side. And if it works, go with it. You can leave engineering if you want, just go with it.
Yeah.
But you need to have a stable income. You need to live. You need to have something in your pocket.
Yeah, it's true.
That's when I realized I got my father's approval.
It's amazing. Especially in this culture, right? So often
That's like, and that was, when I told you I thought people were going to be like, hey, he's ruining his father's reputation. He's this and he's going to be that. My father himself came up to me and told me, go for it.
Wow.
Why would I care? Anyone else thinks, you know
Totally.
what I mean?
If you have your father's approval, it's
my
like...
mom and dad, they both like, my mom is on like comments on every video.
Yeah,
Like
that's
she just
awesome.
laughs. And she also like, she's so cute. Whenever I release a video, sometimes I get a glimpse of her showing my dad. Like, hey, look at this. And my dad would be so confused because he doesn't understand. It's like, that's nice. So yeah, but that's when I realized that's it. I got the green light. Let's go. I'm back into the game. And now I'm here.
It's so awesome when you get that kind of approval and agreement from your parents. You have that green light to go ahead, that blessing from your father to say, hey, I bless you in this, take care of your money stuff until you make it. But then if it works, great.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, just continue. And slowly, I'm going like taking one step at a time. It's a tough industry in terms of getting into acting and filmmaking because we still don't have that going on here yet. There's not a lot of it going on here.
Yeah,
but we're getting
Bollywood,
there.
You have Hollywood, and then there's some stuff in Abu Dhabi, but it's DreamWorks? What's it called?
Like I'm willing to go anywhere if I get a gig anywhere.
Yeah,
even if it's Bollywood, like I would be more than happy. Like, but the thing is, it's because of the cultural difference that could be tough. Like,
yeah, because Bollywood is so cultural.
Like Bollywood could be like they're more censored. That aspect. I don't know. Like here, when we see movies, like compared to Hollywood movies, like okay, when I was talking to Zainab, I'm like, you know what was my ultimate goal? Like, I want to be the first Emirati. I want to be the first guy that makes it to Hollywood. Like, I'm pretty sure when I get there, people will be so proud of me here. Like, this guy made it all the way there,
Yeah.
And it's a tough business over there. Like,
Very.
And if I ever make it, that would be like, that's it. I'm at my peak right now.
Yeah.
And then she told me, yeah, that would be great. But, like, you know how Hollywood is. I mean, they're like, they don't share our culture. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, what if you get in a position or a scene where there's kissing or there's something, like there's some kind of, like they don't, and you guys like, I mean, we have like Hollywood, they have censorship, yeah, but there's certain limit, but like,
I don't know if you can say that.
Like, I don't know, censorship, let's say censorship in terms of like something that could be offensive. Otherwise, they're all free, right? In terms of,
I don't even know if they have censorship as far as something that could be offensive. I mean, Hollywood is
like it's things that have to do with race and everything, like races, like I don't know, like there's some things maybe, but what I'm trying to say is that she was worried. Point, yeah. She was worried that, like, what would you do? Like, you can't say no.
Now, what do you do if you're put in a moral position where you're like,
yeah, and you're gonna,
I don't want to do this.
Are you gonna sell your morals to get there, or are you gonna say
What's
no?
What's your price?
And the thing is, like, as if I'm a new actor, if imagine being in that scenario, I don't have a say in anything, right? Right now, I want them. They don't want me.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a bigger actor, of course, you get to make demands. You make the conditions and everything.
Yeah.
So if I'm ever in that situation, I'm like, oh yeah. And actually, that's kind of sad, knowing that there's that barrier that's gonna like come in the way. I'm pretty sure like not all gigs are gonna be like that. There must be something out there
for sure.
Like if one day there's a movie happening, for example, and they want the UAE as a location, I could maybe participate there. That's when they're going to know, okay, we need to respect the culture here. Mm-hmm. But if I go to them, that's their game. Yeah, I feel like that's how it's going to be.
Right. I mean, with this project that, The Shadow, I know that, in Abu Dhabi, there's, is it DreamWorks? I forgot what it's called. That film
Yeah, it is DreamWorks.
Is it DreamWorks?
Yeah, I think so.
Or Imagination or something like that.
In Abu Dhabi. I rarely go to Abu Dhabi, to be honest, so I don't know what's going on.
But within the film industry, and so I know that there are different pockets where they're trying to, kickstart, an Arab film industry. My assumption is that most of it's, in Egypt right now, or maybe in Lebanon, but there's not really a lot happening in the Gulf. Do you see? And are there actually steps forward to actually seeing a market for that and an industry built around that?
Yesterday, Naila, the director, Naila Alkhaja, she was talking about this. She's like, it's so hard to get people to invest in you in this region. Because, like, first of all, we're not competing globally.
It's
right?
a small market.
It's a very small market. You need to find someone believes in you enough to, like, hey, this is my pocket. Reach in, take whatever you want. No, it's despite having a lot of talent,
especially in today's market.
Yeah, despite having a lot of talent, but like, I mean, you should have seen the actors, the two lead actors. They were just incredible. Like there was the role of the mother, and she had all those crying scenes, and then she'd snap. Like, we'd finish a scene, she's crying. Then she goes back to normal, and then we start again, and then she starts crying again. It's like, you have a switch somewhere? Like, what's happened? Like, I'm seeing, like, I saw talent in front of me.
Wow.
Like, I felt intimidated a little, because I'm like, wow, I feel like I should up on game a little bit here. Yeah. No, but yeah, seeing, like, I'm pretty sure, like, even on social media nowadays, like, you're seeing the rise. Like, everyone is doing their own skits. Like, I'm trying to do my own thing. I'm trying to, in a way, other than the comedy aspect, we're kind of like trying to sell ourselves, like, say, like, hey, we're here, we're actors. You guys want to do something about it?
Yeah.
Put a movie together, you know what I mean? And recently, there's been Khalik Shanab. There's a movie, local movie made. I haven't seen it till now, but like, it hit the big screens. And
really,
yeah, but we don't have many people hitting the big screens here. That's what we're trying to do. Like, not even in your own country, you know what I mean? You need people to believe in you, and that's hard.
And you need someone to believe in you. You need someone to orchestrate and bring all of those people together. You need the right script. You need the right crew, and then you need the financing, and then you need a financial model behind it to make it
correct. I believe we have everything in terms of talents. We have we have incredible actors here. We got incredible, like, especially with this generation right now.
Yeah, and everyone's growing up wanting to be a YouTube star, a Netflix star, and
it's like, I'm telling you, it is bound to happen. Maybe I think the only thing that's, to be honest, keeping us here from really make that Hollywood budget kind of movie is, again, image and culture, reputation. You don't want to. For example, let me give you a scenario here.
Please.
You're watching a Hollywood movie. Yeah, police get their asses kicked here and there. The police cars blowing up. Hey, the White House gets blown up every now and then as well in a movie.
Often.
Can you do it here? Can you show? See that right there? See that? Like, it's a little hard, right? You can't really say that the police here are weak. That's a no. That's okay. Let's scratch off the list. Let's find something else. Can we show people?
How does that make you feel?
That's sad. It's really sad. Like, I remember when we went to the audition for the film, and then afterwards we went to Naila Alkhaja's house, the director, just to read through the script, and then we got to talk about this whole thing. It's just the restrictions are too much. Like, she changed the movie title because it was sensitive. Come on, I mean, if people are controlling your movie titles, like, how do you expect to make a proper full budget movie here? With no one's gonna tell you have.
And why would someone want to come in and fund that movie if their hands are going to be tied every step of the way?
It's funny, you know why? Because we've had movies, like, I'm not gonna say like the UAE never participated in anything. We've opened our doors to some other movies, like Fast and Furious. They came here, and then Jackie Chan is filming, and Tom Cruise came here.
Yep.
But, like, I don't want to say but
it's not like
contradicting ourselves. But come on.
Those are still Hollywood films.
I mean, they're only letting him do it because they know they're gonna get the market moving here. They're gonna showcase. They're gonna, like,
branding.
Branding. There we go.
exposure.
So why would you give me a chance? Who am I when you can give Vin Diesel a chance?
So,
There we go. Right. It's all about, hey, you have to really show. This is why. This is the first step to showing people. It's with the short film, like, hey, we're capable.
So then, do you feel? I mean, everything's changing in the book industry, in the music industry, in the film industry, in the podcast. Everything is changing. The fact that you have a channel, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, what you do would have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to do in 1995.
Yeah, true. Now you can literally do everything with phones. Like,
So
you don't even like.
Yeah, I mean, you can shoot 4K on like an iPhone 7, and
The trick is lighting.
yeah,
Really.
lighting.
If you
is
have
huge.
lights, you can shoot everything right here with the phone. It
Oh,
will
for
work.
sure. So do you feel
Like,
like there's a
so
part
accessible.
of it where, I guess my question is, how much of it, I know that it's reality, but how much of it too is people just blaming a system, a government, a Hollywood? I'm not a big name. Well, I'm none of this. Well, no one's giving me a chance. Well, no one's giving me money. When there is the ability to create indie films with the talent, and all that talent, if you pull your resources together, you already have the lights, you already have the cameras, you already have the crew, you already have, like, what is stopping you from organizing people and creating your own film, your own art?
What's that word? Was it wasta? That's a very powerful thing here. No, but I mean, that, of course, that plays a part in everything here, everywhere in the world. Like, wasta's not just a local word. It's like, you
It's
need
everywhere.
you need to have that guy. No, but
what can't you become that guy? Because you just said that everyone is trying to make a name for themselves.
Sure.
Everyone's trying to say, hey, we have talent here. And everyone wants to make a feature. And that's what, right, The Shadow is all about. It was, she's trying to show people, and I understand that costs real money, but is there space for an indie film industry here? Because that's what's happening in America, where everyone has the same problem. Well, I can't get in Hollywood. My script can't get in Hollywood. Someone has a bigger name. I don't have influence. I'm just from Idaho.
Yeah,
Who am I?
But there, you have the competition. Here we don't have it at all, and no one's willing to.
But isn't that a good
invest.
thing? That the fact that you don't have competition, that you and your friends could make a 45-minute movie and a 90-minute feature length?
No, I'll tell you one thing. Nothing stops you from doing it. Like, I can just grab my camera right now, and like, nowadays there are people that are doing series and episodes, and like they're cooperating with people. They're helping them out. But I mean,
Or is it censorship that stops you?
no, you can't. Look, you can work your way around it. It's fine. Like, but I'm saying, imagine like death and people dying and explosions and all those big budget movies, or like plot twists and like those things that normally are censored outside, drinking, and it's funny. Like,
Even though it happens, you can't show it.
no, you can't. Yeah, that's funny, because drinking, for example. Hey, we have hotels here. They offer it. I mean, if not, like, we have. Drinking is out here. Like, we're a diverse country here.
Yeah.
Like, people come from all over the world. We have everything for everyone, but you can't show it. Yeah,
Right.
but you can show it.
Face.
It's weird. You can never know why, though. Like, you cannot reason with people. It's just like, it's a no. There's
So
no-
you
like, we
feel
don't really
even
know why. Like, there's no, like, I'm not ruining your reputation. You have it here. Like, you're just gonna bail out on a really good script and really good movie just because of this one scene that has like a scotch on the side of the table, like it's half empty. You know what I mean?
I don't have anything to say to that, but yeah,
I don't know. It's just so weird that we have a lot of things that
it sounds very frustrating.
it is. I mean, imagine. I mean, I'm just a small actor here trying to, like, imagine for people who are actually into this, like, directing to the filmmaking, and imagine what they have to go through every time.
So even if you
The
feel,
rejections.
are you saying that even you, let's say you said, you know what, I have 12 talented friends and we're going to put together a short drama. Sure, maybe we don't have a huge,
Budget,
effects budget, etc. We're gonna bootstrap this thing together, and I'm gonna make my own script. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if you did that, there'd be repercussions for you? Is that what you're saying? That if you went ahead and did it and produced it, and
Only when it works out, only when you become something, then people want you. Then people hear like, oh yeah, sure, let's open the door for this guy. He knows what he's doing.
would be negative repercussions if you did your script the way that you wanted to, with whether it's police cars blowing up or alcohol.
I won't even be able to do it in the first place.
Exposing kind of some of those real cultural trigger, because that's what you do in your short skits. You're like, here are these really funny and sensitive cultural triggers, which would make a great movie, like Baraka Meets Baraka, right? That was like, I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot about it. If anyone has a copy, please send it to me so I can actually watch it.
Yeah, please.
I've heard a lot about it. Have you seen it?
No idea. No.
It's this film out of Saudi with, a cop named Baraka who meets this woman, her name's Baraka, and they fall in love, and it's this whole.
No, we have a lot of those. I mean, come on. We do have.
But would you be able to write the script that you want that is probably more triggering than your little skits? Because it sounds like a lot of the things that the scripts that you find entertaining have some trigger, or it might make people feel like you're losing face. Do you feel like if you produced that and released it on YouTube, a 45-minute, premiere or whatever, and some maybe got it to Netflix, do you feel like there would be negative repercussions for you as an individual, or where someone said you have to take that down, you're in trouble?
If it has those elements that we just discussed, I guess.
If those elements that you feel like need to be in order to tell a true narrative, something that's not facade and fake, but that has kind of grit to it. Or is it? Or does it go back to what you're saying?
It just takes one guy to start like a war against you. Like, oh, this guy is making fun of us. Everyone's gonna just side with them. It's either goes like completely right or completely wrong. Like it's just 50-50, Like you're not so.
So how much are you willing to risk then? Because you're, because this is like following your arc. I see you started off as a kid, you started producing, you kind of stopped. All of a sudden you started accidentally doing it again. You're like, oh, this is who I am. And then you're like, oh, socially I'm not able to do this.
Yeah, and then I'm going
to bring shame to my family.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you kind of start doing it again, and then your dad gives you permission. And all of a sudden you have this blessing. You're like, oh, I thought he was going to be ashamed of this, and he's going to hurt his name, but really he's proud of me. Okay, so you take that step, and all of a sudden you're doing stuff that's triggering, extremely funny, but extremely triggering.
Okay, but that's what I do. The secret is I go around the system. I do things. I told you, as long as like I'm.
But so here you're up on this arc again, and all of a sudden I hear you making the decision of like, well, I can't go any further. I'm going to have to go back down because here's all these excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do Hollywood. I can't do Bollywood. And oh, well, so-and-so's not going to give me money.
If I go, like something for me to go and like film outside as an actor, just individual, just go there. Something else to create something here within the country. Like, I mean, if I'm as a local, especially like I said, starting is very hard because there are so many restrictions here.
Yeah, you can't take a camera out without a license.
There we go. I mean, you can't take a camera out without people like
being stopped and
like, do you have a permit for that? I'm like, what? I'm just trying to take a picture for Instagram, selfie. Wait, calm down. If you have a DSLR, if walking around the DSLR, people are like, you have a permit for that. I swear to God.
The other day, it's true.
The other day, I saw like a full production, like a modeling, but the dude had a phone, but it was fine because they thought, they're just messing around with their phones on the beach or something. But if I have a DSLR,
you can't.
And I'm not even using it. I was like, oh, sir, put that down, sir, I'm not gonna pepper spray you, sir. It's like, it's so serious. Like, imagine if it's so hard to do that for personal reasons. Going big, how tough is that gonna be? Yeah, I mean, of course, if you have the right approvals, but you still like
How much are you willing to risk? I mean, you could right. Rear Window was filmed in one room. Like so many of like great Hitchcock films filmed in one room. Was it the movie The Guilty? It's this Swiss, Euro film, all filmed in one room.
How about The Phone Booth?
Haven't seen that one. I'm guessing it's filmed in a phone booth.
Is it called The Phone Booth? Is it with which actor is that? Is that the guy who was just in the phone? The entire movie is just in the phone booth, and then there's a sniper on him.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
brilliant. So I mean, there's
like this is like I'm looking before it was like very awesome because there was an old movie and I was like, yeah, this movie's intense. And then I just like a while back I saw it. I'm like, this movie's in a phone booth, and they made it.
So
it's incredible.
Can't you still like? Can't you? Just as many great directors and writers have, you can write something that all happens within the four walls of your house. Or unless there's a little drone with like CCTV down on your house, satellite.
Look, that's your zone. Like,
how much are you willing to risk? Thank you for listening to this episode of Own the Future. I always love that you are here with me, with us on the show. Here's a little sneak peek from the next episode, the conclusion of this interview with Abdo.
Like, okay, when you're famous, what's next? That got me thinking. Like, yeah, if I reach, what's next?
What was your answer?
I didn't know. I was like, yeah, famous, money, famous. Like, that's it. No, like, but she's like, no, you need to have a realistic goal.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have an answer, and the answer started revealing itself.
Make sure you check out the show notes, follow Abdo Alkhaja, and share this with your friends. Finally, I'm Lucas Grobot. This is Own the Future. And remember, if you own your story, you will own the future.